A second here. Hello, thank you for joining us on this episode of Sports Bets for Free. My name is Scott Jenkins, your host, and we have a special co-host with us tonight as well. Player Prop Prodigy on TikTok has decided to join on in here as we are going over the Major League Baseball Home Run Derby for July 14th in Atlanta, and we got a lot of stuff going on. Thanks for coming on, Player Prop. Appreciate you.
No problem.
Yeah, all right. Yeah, exactly. So we got 8 guys in the Home Run Derby. We're going to run through those really quickly. Cal Riley, James Wood, Brent Rooker, Jazz Chisholm, O'Neill Cruz, Matt Olson, the home favorite, Byron Buxton, Junior Caminero. What do you think of this 8-man field, Player Prop?
There's a couple interesting guys in here. There's a couple guys I don't think really have any really business in it, and I think it's just I had a couple of guys tell me that where's Judge, where's Ohtani? I was like, those guys, the big stars, the big boppers don't do it every year, so you always get kind of an interesting list on that.
Yeah, and the old theory was too, like, you know, if you're really trying to win the Home Run Derby, it does affect your swing a little bit in the second, you know, and it's kind of tough to break out of that in the second half a little bit as well. So yeah, so a lot of you don't want to do it every year. Pete Alonso, who's won this thing multiple times, he opted out as well. Ronald Acuna got replaced late by Matt Olson. They normally want at least one hometown at the ballpark, somebody that's going to get a bunch of stuff behind him. So Matt Olson, who is hitting less home runs than maybe he has in multiple years, all of a sudden will be there. So we'll kind of run through the odds here. According to DraftKings, as we're looking at currently, Kyle Riley is the favorite here, followed by O'Neill Cruz, James Wood, Matt Olson, Brent Rooker, Buxton, Chisholm, and Junior Caminero. What do you think about the odds makers on this one?
Yeah, I have it a little bit different on FanDuel. I think it's when I had my couple favorites that I like, they're pretty high, close to the top, to the the worst price for us. So I think it's priced out pretty good. FanDuel has Chisholm last, which I think is correct. I don't think he's even a home run hitter. I think he's more of a get on and get around the bases type guy. But some of these guys, they just they make a name for themselves in this kind of thing, so that's why you see some of these guys in there.
And do you like Cal as the favorite?
I know he's going to be the favorite because of how many home runs he's hit, but I don't think this competition is necessarily for him. Not a huge fan of his dad pitching to him. I think that's kind of like more of an honor, like a family honor thing than it is, fun. I think his brother's even catching for him.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I guess he needs some cousins or something to go shag some balls for him out there or something like that as well, right?
He'll be in the outfield.
Right, exactly. So, Cal being the favorite here, like I said, he's had the biggest first half when it comes to home run wise. So no surprise that he's the favorite on the betting board on that one. So no shocker there. I think the big deal for me every year with this is who's pitching to them. Do they have any experience doing it? Is it more of just a fun event for them, or are they actually going out to try to win this thing? Right, so there's money involved. Some of the guys make enough money, it don't matter, right? Some of these guys, though, don't. Like, some of these guys are $700,000, or it's a little over $700,000 a season is what their contract is. And now, do they draw money from the bonus pool that's become available the last few years? Yes. So that does happen. But some of these guys – Olson's in a big contract, so does he really care about who's pitching to him? Probably not. Stuff like that. I think that all comes into play here. Do they are they really going after this for additional money, or is this just more of a fun event for them?
Yeah, I think it's kind of like guys like Junior Caminero, O'Neill Cruz. They're not getting a lot of recognition from, the casual fans. I mean, I bet you a lot of people don't even really know who they are. So this is kind of like last year, Teoscar Hernandez, I feel like he got something out of winning, name recognition wise. So
Yeah, no question about it. So
because the Pirates aren't ever going to be on like ESPN Sunday Night Baseball, or like, same with Tampa Bay. I don't really ever see them on the primetime Fox game. So
not unless for Pittsburgh, the only time is when Paul Skeens is pitching, right?
Yeah.
And then if it's Tampa Bay, you're probably not going to find a lot. Tampa Bay's had a really interesting first half, and Camanero's been a big reason with the offense, but the bullpen over the last 20 games has really cost them a chance to actually be first, probably in the AL East heading into the All-Star break. So, I want to run down through a list of who's pitching to which batter, right? So we'll go through that just to kind of help out, let the public, let everybody know what we're thinking. So Matt Olson's got the Major League coach Eddie Perez pitching. Eddie Perez is not the normal batting practice. The ones I normally really like is when it's their normal batting practice coach that's actually pitching to them. So it doesn't. Matt Olson doesn't have him going. Cal Riley, we mentioned his dad's pitching. Todd, obviously a big family event there. James Wood, Ricky Gutierrez throws batting practice to Wood every day. That's why honestly he's my favorite going into this thing. He faces him the most. Byron Buxton has a third base coach Tommy Watkins pitching to him on that one. They've been together a long time, but they don't normally do batting practice together, right? And then we get to O'Neill Cruz, basically the translator on the team and assistant coach Steven Morales. He does throw batting practice. O'Neill Cruz is probably not one of my favorites coming in until I find out that he's got his batting practice coach. Jazz Chisholm, his stepfather, Gerard Sands, or Geron, if I'm pronouncing that wrong, I do apologize. He's going to be pitching to him. Brent Rooker is having his old hitting coach from when he was, like they say, 9 through high school. Joe Caruso pitching to him. And Junior Caminero, Thomas Francisco. Francisco has pitched in the Home Run Derby before, as well, to Randy Arizarena a couple years, 1 year back or something. So any thoughts on who's throwing to who and all that kind of stuff?
I like the James Wood one. I like well, I don't want to give away some of my favorites for quite yet, but I don't like the ones with the dads pitching for sure. Yeah, definitely would like to see a batting practice pitcher or a coach or some sort, or like you said, the assistant coach, as opposed to like a family member. Or experience in that pitching matters because you got to put them right. You got to put them right there. You got
to groove them for 3 minutes, right? So especially and then bonus time as well. So on those, so I'm definitely with you. So for me, Kyle Riley and Jazz Chisholm, even though Kyle's got tons of power, those are two guys I would probably put at the bottom of the list for me, and then focus on the other 6 moving forward. So it's kind of how I look at it. Now, can you get beat? Can his dad throw him the perfect batting practice session? Sure. Or can Cal obviously hit a bunch of home runs? Sure. But this is about percentage-wise, what can play and percentage there. So just to run through a couple of the lines as well, Atlanta, not the easiest ballpark on God's green earth to hit home runs out of, but, should be relatively easy there. I don't know if you think there's an advantage left-handed or right-handed in this thing?
Not too much. Maybe what is it to do? I don't quite remember how far.
I don't have the exact measurements in front of me. Yeah, there's not like a short porch and left or right from everything I've seen, but
I used to watch. Maybe right field, so maybe a lefty.
Yeah.
But I don't think, like you said, it's not like we're at Yankee Stadium or the Oakland ballpark. So
right. Or George Steinbrenner Field in Tampa Bay, where everybody can crack everything from everywhere.
One thing
Right,
I
so-
always look for, and I don't, there is a lot of luck in this, as there is everything we do, but I look for the guys who are bigger, taller, or whatever, and have like longer swings, as opposed to the short, choppy swing. And you're gonna have to golf some out of here if the pitch isn't perfectly in there. You're gonna have to get down to the ball. So we do have some guys who are like 6'6" in this thing. So quite a few of them actually.
Yeah, and so there's some bigger guys in this thing. Oh, when we look at the big, obviously there's no Aaron Judge here, so we don't have a 6'7", 250-pound guy smacking everything, or 280 smacking everything away. But James Wood's a big dude. Matt Olson's a big dude. Cal's pretty solid, pretty sizable dude as well. O'Neill and Jazz are a little on the smaller side. So
Buxton's, he's
lanky.
Tall. Yeah.
Yeah, he's real tall as well. Yeah, I'm with you there. Brent Rooker. I love Brent Rooker in baseball games. I don't know about Brent Rooker in the home run derby necessarily, but he's a guy that's going to put up 35 plus home runs a season for you. He's got 20 at the break. They're about 92 to 95 games in. So they got, we're basically down to the last 70 games of the season during the regular season after the All-Star break is finished. So, Rooker's right on pace for that, about 35. James Woods had a really good start. Obviously, Riley's almost what is he? What did he end up with? 38? Okay. 39. So, so he's got quite a few. Here, we'll take a quick look here as we go to the home run board. Riley's at 38. Judge 35, Ohtani 32, Suarez 31, Schwarber 30. Once you get past the top five guys, then we drop down to 25. Crow, Armstrong, Suzuki, Green, Woods at 24. So he's second on the list here. For the guy home runs. Caminero 23, and he is so young as well. Buxton at 21, Rooker at 20. And let's see here if we can get Cruz was at 16. Olson's at 17. So we kind of got a mixing there. We don't have the top. We've got one of the top 5 home run guys, but you're not going to see Ohtani probably. Maybe if they All-Star games in LA before his career's out, but Judge probably won't do it again unless they play in Yankee Stadium. I'm surprised Suarez didn't want to take advantage of this, especially with knowing he's in a free agent contract at the end of the year. And this could kind of boost him fan-wise, but no Schwarber in this one either. PCA, I know they asked PCA for the Cubs. He turned it down. As a Cubs fan, I'm happy. I really don't want to see any Cubs in it, but it's kind of fun when one of your team's on there. I just don't want it to be, excuse me, one of the main cogs of the offense, so to speak. So on that one there. All right, so what we'll do now is we'll run through actually round one over-unders really quick as well. So we'll start off with Brent Rooker. 18.5 is the number we're seeing. Just pulling up DraftKings here for us. What do we think? Rooker got a shot at getting 19 plus, or do we think he finishes like mid-teens or something?
And one thing I wanted to say before we start is it 8 and then they go to 4 and then they go to 2? Is that the format?
I believe it's 8-4-2 on that one. So it's not the bracketed what they've done a couple times on that. So they've been a little, they sometimes they don't spell out the rules good enough when we're sitting there looking at these things. But obviously the books understand what the rules are really well. But basically, when it comes to, if you're looking at wagers in this thing, right, you're looking for a couple different things. So DraftKings, and this is just what DraftKings offers, right? Obviously, books offer different things. So DraftKings are going to offer the winner, the finalists, totals, semifinals. So it's going to be 8, 4, and 2. Round one over-unders, you can bet distance, exit velocity, AL versus NL, exact result if you want to get like the lottery ticket to pay off in that one as well. So, that's kind of how it breaks down on that one. There's all kinds of different plays we can make here. This is not the parlay dream better situation here. I promise you. This is almost everything's plus sizable money except when it comes to the over-unders, maybe round one. It's not going to be the easiest thing to parlay because we saw Bobby Witt can hit home runs, but Bobby Witt got to the finals last year, right? And nobody really had Bobby Witt getting to the finals in this thing going against Teoscar, if I remember correctly. Is my mind off there? Was that right? Was it Bobby Witt and Teoscar?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I had Teoscar at plus 800.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's, this is not one of those ones where give me your 3 or 4 best leg parlay. This is a straight wager, get some plus money. It's going to pay better than a lot of these parlays anyway. So this is definitely one of those ones to, have some fun with. This is not the easiest handicap on earth, right? So I'm not going to tell you lay a bolo down on this particular event here, but it is a lot of fun to get involved with.
I do have for the people who like parlays, I have my favorites that I like to win, and then I have a long shot winner. So if you stick around here on the show, I'll give you a guy at the bottom of the list that could have a chance to.
Yeah, I got you.
Don't love him, but for the price that he's at, it might be a good look.
All right. So sometimes it all boils down to price, right? So we'll go through the first round totals here. Go through those. We'll start off with Rooker, 18.5 is his number. Do you think he gets above the 18.5?
This probably won't be too popular of an opinion, but I think he's under. I don't think this is really competition for him. I think the books have him priced accurately as he's near the bottom, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think he's one of those guys. He's a great baseball player. But I'm looking for somebody who I think can turn into a pull hitter and if he's left-handed, hit it down the right, out and right. And I think Brent Rooker's just an excellent hitter, excellent baseball player, but it's cool to see him in this competition. But I think he goes around like 14 or 15 for a total.
Okay. All right. I like what you're putting down there. I think the number is probably relatively close. Maybe he gets to 18. But I don't know if we get much more than that. He's not a guy that's going to drive, have a 490-foot home run. Typically, he's definitely a double. I call him a doubles hitter, which those are normally my favorite hitters in the league. Like Bobby Witt's one of my favorites, and he's a doubles hitter all day long. Rooker can power the ball out of the ballpark, no question about it. The question is can he continually get enough exit velo and lift to get the ball out of there? So I don't really like who he's got pitching to him as well, which kind of leans me to the under there on that one as well. Next one up, Byron Buxton. 18.5 is the number for Mr. Buxton as well in that one. A little bit juice to the under there, not much. It's 115. Any thoughts on Byron?
18.5, pretty high. I actually kind of like him a little bit. I don't know what the number is going to be to get you into the next round. I know some of these guys are going to have really disappointing performances. I feel like it always happens. Man, I think that's a good price. He's going to be right around there. I personally won't play the over, but I'm a little nervous on the under. So I think he advances to the second round. But kind of lean under as well on that one.
Yeah, so for Buxton, I do like who's pitching to him for the most part. I think Buxton's got a chance to get there. He's long, lean. He does hit the ball 2 country miles on that one. So I'll take my chances here with him over 18.5, and it's because I think there's going to be a couple upsets of people that are expecting a couple of guys to go well above their number. So it's not going to be a monster play. It's just going to be one of those ones where we sneak in there, I think, on the 18.5 number. Now, the one that everybody's worried about, I'm sure, Cal Riley, 21.5 is his number, first round. What do you think about that one there?
That's a huge number. Do you remember what it took to advance last year?
Not off the top of my head.
I can't really remember if they were hitting in the 20s or because a
couple guys were hitting in the 20s. So if you're gonna go, typically if you go from 8 to 4, you can probably, unless there's some wind or weather condition, you can figure it's probably going to take close to 20 to get in, to be on the safe side. So on that one,
I like I like Buxton at 19 a lot better than I like Cal Raleigh at 22.
Yeah,
I'll
I'm
say
with you
that.
there. I think this is the upset of the first round, personally. So
I think Cal, and I think the ESPN broadcast, they usually try to mess these fun things up. I think they're going to be surprisingly shocked that he doesn't put up a big number, as he has the 39 home runs. But you got to understand, like, you're not hitting a curveball here. You're trying to drive a slow pitch out of there. So I think Cal doesn't advance to the second round personally.
yeah, I'm with you there. And one of my favorite plays of this whole thing is going to be Cal under 21 and a half home runs on that one. I honestly think, like, he's had a long first half, right? And his dad's pitching to him. I think this is a family event, to be really honest. It's just something that's fun. He's not something that's monstrous. The only way he gets 21 plus, if he has one of those streaks where he probably hits 8 in a row on there, so, which is not easy to do whatsoever. So on there, I definitely like Cal under 21 and a half in the first round. It is the biggest number as well. It should be. He leads the league in home runs, right? So at the moment, I don't think he leads it at the end of the season, as catchers definitely get a lot of wear and tear on him as well. This is the first time he's been this high up in the home run chase, where you got Ohtani and Judge, who are constantly at the top of the league for the home run chase. I don't know how Judge doesn't probably win it overall for the major league league, but I mean, I guess there's always a chance, right? Everything's live. Judge could get hurt. Ohtani could get hurt. Cal could get hurt. It happens, but I don't expect Cal to be our AL home run champion, put it to you that way. All right, next one up, James Wood, 20 and a half. It is juiced to the under there. It's basically even money for him to get 21 plus. What do you think about James Wood here?
James Wood, I like as one of my two favorites to win this thing. 20 and a half is a good number, but I think my only thing with my question with him is he likes to go to the opposite field, and I think this is more of a pull hitter thing. So if he can figure out a way to pull it to right field, he's an excellent hitter, driving the ball the other way. That's not really what this competition is. So if he can, I think he goes over, because I think these guys, and I think these guys it's going to affect their swing for a few weeks, which kind of adds to why you said adds to even more why Judge should probably win, because this might screw Raleigh's swing up for a few weeks. Mm-hmm. I think James Wood goes over, but I think he has to adjust a little bit to the competition in order to win this thing. He is one of my two favorites to win.
Yeah, I love James. I'm with you. I love James Wood in this event. A couple reasons why. First of all, I think he's one of the younger players, right, which I think does help, as you're going to need some stamina to go through this event. Number two is he's got basically his everyday pitching coach, or batting practice pitcher throwing to him. So if they want to just pull the ball, I think he can get grooved to wherever James wants it for him to pull the ball to right field all day. I think that's a major advantage there. A guy that he sees pitch to him every day. I think that's going to definitely help out James Wood in this event. The number's big at 20 and a half. Like I said, second biggest total on the board. But I like James Wood in this spot. I think he puts up, I would not be surprised to see him go for the most home runs in round one, and maybe get to 25 plus mark in that one in round one there. Next one up, Jazz Chisholm, 17 and a half. And we'll get to the O'Neill. I'm sorry, he is the third highest on the board. There is one other guy we'll get to in just a minute. That was kind of the shock to me of this, but there's reasons for it. But what do we think about Chisholm here at 17 and a half?
I don't think this competition is for him. I guess that's probably the lowest number on the board, correct?
Yeah, there's a couple 17 and a halves on that one. So, yeah.
This isn't really a competition for him. I think it's cool for him to be in it because, he does get his name out there. Even though he does play for the Yankees, he's been stuck down there on the Marlins his whole career. he's not really a home run hitter. He's a hit the ball, get around the bases type guy. I don't think he really even has that many home runs, honestly. He's been missed some time. So yeah, under. I think this is a guy who not a lot of high expectation for in this thing, but I think it's going to be kind of one of those disappointments when he's laughing, walking off, and he has like 8 home runs.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's got a possibility to put. He's got a stepfather pitching to him. He's got a possibility to put up a number there. I think like somewhere between 15 to 17, maybe 18. If he gets hot, he can't. He is definitely a pull ball hitter, right? He pulls the ball a lot. He does get the advantage being in New York of being that short porch in right field for a lot of their home games. Definitely not. This is one of the stay away plays for me in this one. Him in the first round, I just don't really like the number too much. If it was at 16.5 or 18.5, I'd probably have a lean over or under, but just don't really like him in this spot here. So it's probably staying away from there. Next one up, Junior Caminero, 17.5 is the same number for him. What do you think of Junior here in this spot?
Couple of things. He swings the bat hard, so if he can make contact, I'm worried about him popping the ball up a little bit. He does swing probably as hard as anybody in this thing. I like him to go over. I like him. So I've got 2 people that we've discussed so far. I've got Buxton advancing, and I've got James Wood advancing. I think Junior Caminero could possibly be the third one in the Final Four. I'm going to take him over. What was 17.5? I think that's a low number. I think he can get to that.
Yeah, 17.5 I think is feasible for him in this particular one here. So, I think there's definitely some possibilities for him to get to over that number. I kind of like him to make the semis as well. I think maybe he can post a 20 spot here or get close to it. There's like I said, it's more when I'm looking at this, I don't know if there's 4 guys where I'm just like, oh my God, they're advancing, forget the rest of the field. It's more of maybe fading 4 at this particular point, or there's 2 I definitely going to fade, and then maybe there's a couple of questionables in the middle on that one. Matt Olson is the next one up as we're almost through the field here. 18.5 home runs, obviously home ballpark. Is definitely the big advantage for him. He's definitely going to have the crowd behind him. What do we think of Matt Olson at 18.5?
If you know me, I'm a big Matt Olson guy. Couple different reasons, but I think this is the exciting one. Here comes the hometown guy. Here he comes, and I don't think he's going to go. I'm 100% not playing him over. I lean towards the under on that one. I think there'll be a lot of excitement from the home crowd, but a little bit of disappointment once he lets down.
Yeah, I mean, Matt, to me, he's got a chance to make the semis. I don't know if he's got a chance to win it, right? So, maybe the crowd pumps him up for round 1. I think that's a lot of swings. He's one of the older players probably in this as well. So we got a lot of 20-something youngsters here. So, maybe he's got enough to get to the semis. He's probably of the 8 guys, there's like 2 stay away lines for me, and he's one of them. I'm not going to play his first round. Maybe I slip something at that number. Maybe I slip something in there where he makes it to the semis here, but on that one there. And the last guy, O'Neal Cruz, 21.5. This and Cal Riley are the 2 biggest numbers on the board. It's a little juice to the under. I mean, nothing's ridiculous. Minus 120 to go under here. This to me was the shocker of the lines. Obviously, O'Neal Cruz, only 16 home runs so far this season. He is definitely a pull hitter. What do you think here about O'Neal Cruz and 21.5?
Before looking at anything, I had just thought about it in my head before knowing any of the lines or the plus what everybody's odds was. I like O'Neal Cruz in this competition because he hits the ball hard. I mean, he swings hard. He hits the exit velocity on his swings are like the highest numbers in the league. So if he can continue to pull the thing down the line, I think he can hit a bunch of home runs to right field. And him and James Wood are my two favorites for this thing. I think they're accurately priced. I don't know if I'd go to 21.5, but I don't think it necessarily is going to require that much to advance because I think a lot of these guys hit 16 or 17, 18 range. So I'm not racing to the window to play over, but I think he will advance to the second round. I think his number is maybe one or two high, but I think he advances to the semis. So I got Buxton, James Wood, O'Neal Cruz, and then who else did I have on there in the final four?
O'Neal Cruz, James Wood,
Buxton, and Caminero.
Buxton and Caminero. I like the four. I like the four you're putting down there. In there. So also the 8 guys to hit the longest home run here. And guess we just talked about it. O'Neal Cruz is actually your favorite to hit the longest home run by distance in this one. He's going off of DraftKings. So don't, I understand every book's going to be different. James Wood is second in this. So Cruz at plus 145, Wood at plus 350. And this thing can happen in any round. Buxton third at 450, Cal at 950, Olson at 950, Rooker 1100, Junior Caminero at 2000, Jazz Chisholm we kind of mentioned at 2200. If we're just going longest home run of the competition, do you like O'Neal Cruz there as well?
I think my only concern about O'Neal Cruz is he's a line drive hitter, so he's going to have to lift him up. But as far as it's not. I get that he only has 16 home runs, but he's not going to have to hit a 60-mile-an-hour changeup outside. They're going to be right down the middle for him, and I think he can take one to right really deep. I wouldn't. Obviously, nothing's a lock. I wouldn't call it a lock because all these guys are getting meatballs right down the middle. So, yeah, I would take Cruz or Wood, just as they swing with a lot of power. James Wood also has a really nice smooth swing too.
He does one of the best left-handed swings in baseball, personal opinion. But a guy I'm going to take, I like here, who's third on the list, is actually Buxton for the longest one. Buxton can hit some moonshots. I think he's got pretty good. If you're looking for a value play there, plus 450, probably worth a value play on that one as well. So do like Buxton for longest home run there as well. But I like the other two guys. Buxton, they've got, if you want to go bet the actual feet of the longest home run, at 460.5. James Wood at 464. We talked about there. O'Neal Cruz 471 as well. And then kind of an off the cuff one here. One player, or any player to go over basically 480 plus. You like anybody to go 480 plus? Because I'm sure that's going to be a popular play as well.
Yeah, so I actually much rather would have enjoyed Acuna in this instead of Olson. And actually, I might have had a little sprinkle on Acuna to hit the longest one because he hit some game home runs that are over 470. I think he hit one the other day that was 470. So, if I like O'Neal Cruz, as I'd probably like him here too. I don't know if I'll sprinkle maybe a smaller amount on another guy to go, just so I don't have just one guy, have a couple of shots at it. So O'Neal Cruz, James Wood, obviously hate to be so same guy on everything, but I feel like some of these guys like Chisholm, Olson, they're not going to do well. Maybe Olson, but Cal Raleigh. So some of these guys you can just eliminate, in my opinion, right away, and leaving the 3 guys that I keep picking here.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think the 2 main guys for me are going to be O'Neal Cruz, James Wood. I think you got to look at quite a bit. One of the shocking things is Cal Riley to make the semifinals, to me, at minus 240 is almost stupid. We really think he's going to be the top half of this thing, and he's a $2.50 favorite almost to get there. To me, that's way overpriced. O'Neal Cruz is up there as well. O'Neal's at 225, but I think both of those numbers are I mean, it doesn't take much to really not make this, right? All you have to do is not swing well for about a minute and a half, 2 minutes, and all of a sudden it's over.
Do you remember last week? So one big thing about this competition too is you have to have good endurance. Cal's kind of a bigger guy. I don't know if you remember last year, but Teoscar was doing this to his pitcher manager or whoever's pitching for him, letting him know that, hey, he's running out of gas. Like, he's going to take 2 pitches. That's what that meant. So he's going to let 2 go by before he swung. So he's letting, just don't worry about how you throw these first 2, because he was gassed, because they're swinging over and over and over. And baseball players aren't like basketball players where they're endurance like that, you know. So.
Yeah, it takes a lot of effort too. You know, to swing as hard as they're swinging and to get the ball out. Obviously, that's a lot. So I mean, it's not and not only that, you're trying to do it in speed repetition. Is, you know, does take a, you know, even a really good athlete, you know, you throw them in there, high 12, you know, in 3 minutes, you know, it's a lot of swings. That's why they give them a timeout. And that's why you see the guys take a pitch, right, and all that kind of stuff, or take 2 pitches and stuff like that. It you know, it takes a lot. You know what I mean? I mean, we, you know, me or you are not going out there and doing it. That's for damn sure, right? So on that one there. So AL versus NL, definitely favored to the AL for the winner here. Let's see. American League players, you can play over 142 and a half home runs. Also, National League players, you can play over 95 and a half home runs as well. That National League one at 95 and a half with Wood and O'Neill Cruz on that side. I think you got to take a look at that one, to be really honest, on that one. We talked about exit velocity. You went through that a little bit. And there's also an exit velocity play here. And, of course, O'Neill Cruz is, you know, the top-rated guy, barely plus money, plus 115. James Wood coming in at plus 270. 700 for Buxton, 1,000 for Olson, 1,200 for Kyle Riley, 1,500 for Caminero, plus 2,000 for Rooker, and 3,000 for Jazz. The way we've kind of talked here, you think that's kind of priced correctly there?
Yeah. Earlier this season, O'Neill Cruz, he set the record for the highest exit velocity of a home run. I think they've been keeping the stat for like 30 or 40 years. I don't know how long it goes back, to be honest with you, but he hit one out at 121.7 miles. And it's they said during the broadcast that the second highest was 119.8. So
yeah, 2 miles an hour is a big deal, right?
Keeping the stats, not even just this season.
Yeah, it's he's definitely got some major whip his bat speed is pretty ridiculous, you know, because he's not the biggest guy on earth either, right? So, but he swings ridiculously hard. A good thing and a bad thing. It leads to a lot of strikeouts in the regular games. It might lead to him being one of these, home run derby darlings, so to speak. You know what I mean? So. On that as well. So him being the leader in the clubhouse for exit velo, I understand that one. Him being the, clubhouse leader for distance, I understand that one as well. Semifinals, like I said, I think I'm personally going to make some plays there. So we all the way we're talking here, we don't think Matt Olson's going to make it. We don't think Chisholm's going to make it. So if you take those 2 out, I'm not going to play Cal at minus 240. O'Neill Cruz or at minus 225, but James Wood at about, minus 135 to make the second round. Buxton at a plus 1.25. Caminero's at plus 160. And Caminero's actually last on this list of the 8. Any thoughts there on to make the semis on anything you might play?
Well, I had the final 4: Caminero, Buxton, Wood, and Cruz. Those prices aren't great. I know that, like, obviously it's making 4 out of 8, so they're not going to give you like plus 300 or anything like that.
Yeah.
So this is probably not something I'm not looking to, in this competition, I'm not really looking to double my money. Like,
yeah, when I get 4 out of 8 possibility, I kind of like those. I mean, you're going to give me Caminero at plus 160, and he's just got to be in the top 4. I think there's quite a bit of value there with him. On the minus 200 plays with Cal and O'Neill, not. James Wood at only minus 135. Like I said, I kind of like him to win this whole damn thing on there. So I kind of like his price at only $1.35. I think you're getting a little value there. I'm surprised he wasn't closer to the other two guys, being the fact that the home run, like if you're looking at the totals, he's only one behind them for a total, but he's, 100 plus VIG lower than them to make the semis. So that's kind of why I like the Wood value there. I think the value is really there on that. But, I mean, Kyle's the biggest name in this event. O'Neill Cruz is going to be huge on the nerds that love exit velo. I like it. Exit velo is important, but it's not the end-all, be-all for me. I see guys hit 109-mile-an-hour ground balls all day long. So, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not extremely worried about the exit velo all the time. The exit velo is only important normally when the ball's going over the wall, which you're going to need some lift, things of that nature. This is not necessarily just a left-hander's ballpark as well. The right-handers, I think, are live as well in this one. I just don't like Cal. Cal's not the guy that's going to drive the ball 480 feet, but he might hit a bunch of 400-foot home runs. Like definitely a possibility there with Cal. I just don't, like I said, it seems like a more fun event for him, where Wood and O'Neill Cruz and some guys like that are going to be fighting for dollars a little bit more than he is on that. Also, you can look at, if you want totals for the total home runs in the Derby. This one, to me, is kind of fun to look at. 239 and a half home runs is where the over-under is for total home runs. So if we see 8 guys, and let's say that, let's just take round numbers. If it was 8 guys in round 1 to average 20 apiece, that's $1.60, right? So are we going to see another 80 home runs with 4 guys and then 2 guys? So 6 guys to hit another 80. I think there's possibilities this thing goes over that number, but you're going to need round 1 participants to probably average 20 to get home. Any thoughts there on to me, it's more of a math problem than an actual feeling of an event, but any thoughts on that there?
Yeah, I don't have any interest in playing it personally, but it's kind of more of a fun math thing, like you said. If you can survive, because I feel like there's always a couple of guys who really disappoint. So I don't know if the average in the first round will be what it will be, if it'll be 20 more or less. But I think you're going to have a couple of guys who disappoint and only hit 13 or 12. I said that was a little disrespectful earlier. I said Jazz will hit 8. He'll hit more than 8. But yeah, if as long as you don't get 2 really bad. You remember last year we got overtime, as I'm pretty sure Bobby Witt and Hernandez had to do extras.
Mm-hmm.
Don't expect that to happen again, but I'm sure it went over with that last year because he got an extra.
Yeah, I mean, if James Wood or O'Neill Cruz or somebody comes out and pops a 27 number, something to that effect. I mean, obviously, I think they can go over. Then you can cover some of the other guys in round 1 that are going to finish maybe 13 to 15 range on that. You're going to need a couple guys, I think, to go for 25 plus, which I think you got a couple opportunities here with some of those guys to go 25 plus in round 1 to cover some of those numbers. And then it makes it a little bit easier coming down the stretch to capture that number there. The interesting one to me, so the books kind of think there's going to be right around round 1. The total in that one is 154 and a half. So they're actually thinking kind of along, not too far off the number I mentioned at $1.60. They figure this thing's going to average roughly 19, almost 19 and a half home runs per batter average in round 1. So if that's the case, do we get a little bit closer to that number? I think both of those are worth a play. Not a monster play, right? But a smaller play, sure. Keep your interest going through all the way out instead of just rooting for one guy. Because if you've got one guy for the Derby and he falls flat on his head in round 1, are you going to really want to watch the rest of it? Probably not, right? So You know what I mean? You'd be like, oh, I lost this. I think the Derby's pretty fun overall. And you see a lot of the big time all-stars that are there that aren't in the event. They're all in the audience, or teammates of the guys are all rooting them on, and they're down, low and giving them Gatorade and everything else. I just think it's when you look at all-star activities, like the slam dunk competition in the NBA has gone to absolutely nil. The three-point contest is more of, probably the main event in the NBA. And in the NFL, nobody cares about the Pro Bowl crap. It's all about awards so they can put it on their resume. But this, to me, is one of the funnest all-star game activities with the home run derby.
Yep, I agree. NBA is kind of – I think some of the players just don't take the all-star weekend serious. I know they get a lot of crap for that, but I don't really necessarily blame them too much for not – So, yeah, the home run derby is I'll always watch the home run derby. I always keep Monday nights available during this time of year. So, should be fun.
Yeah, I think it's absolute blast.
We did. I did have a final takeaway here that I'm going to have a little bit on O'Neal Cruz and a small wager on Caminero to win, as it's plus 950. My biggest wager will be Wood and O'Neal Cruz. So
okay,
those are the three guys I like. Caminero is the long shot for you guys that like to play parlays. Don't play parlays in this stuff. But if you want to get a little money out of your, $5 wager or whatever you wager, he's plus 950. So your $10 to turn into 95. That's a pretty good hit right there. So, but I think 300 or 400, and definitely shop around your sports books, because the way Scott read it off to me, FanDuel had it a little different. So there's about 40 different sports books out there. You might find something on one book that's plus 600, and it might be plus 800 on another book, and that's $20 if you're a $10 bettor. So,
absolutely, yeah, you got to shop those around. We were just taking one book, for example, to kind of make the conversation a little bit easier here, but you definitely got to, take your definitely got to shop those around. That's every day. There is no sports book that does me so much better than the other one. I don't care. I'm looking for the best odds for me. That's how we, end positive for the season by making sure we do a little bit of homework there and capturing those as well. I mean, it happens all the time, especially it doesn't matter what play it is. The money line might be relatively close, but if you are in player prop market at all, you can see a home run on one side at 390 and on another site for 600. And shame on you if you're not taking the 600 over the 390 if you're making the play.
Just because you're loyal to one.
Yeah, like it's easy because I've got all the money in this account. Make sure you got money in all the accounts, right? Like you got to spread that around. Like Bet365 for a lot of batting and pitching props has a lot better odds than you're going to see on FanDuel and going to see on DraftKings. Now, if you're limited to what you can do because of the state, I understand that one, but if you're not limited, you definitely should have multiple options and opportunities around. And the same thing goes for home run derby or next on it. So O'Neal Cruz if you're looking at O'Neal Cruz and James Wood to make the final, by the way, DraftKings has to make the finals plays as well. O'Neal Cruz, it was like $1.40 plus $1.45. James Wood plus $2.25. To make the final. So like I said, there's a lot of different ways to play home run derby to make it a lot more fun. This is not an event where I would go out, like I said, and play two mortgages on. But it is an event we're going to have some wagers on. We're going to have some fun with, and try to make this as interesting as possible for a couple hours on a Monday night as we wait for the All-Star game. So as well. So All-Star game should be a lot of fun. Definitely one of the best All-Star games in the business with baseball as well on that one. So should be a lot of fun. All-Star MVP. You could also, there's a lot, if you want even bigger plus money plays, there's a lot of opportunities for that as well. But we'll get into the All-Star game at another time. But on this one, winning nationality, by the way, rest of the world at plus 170, U.S. at minus 205. For the winner. So like I said, there's even for the All-Star or even for the Home Run Derby with 8 guys, there's a ton of different options for you to play. No reason to overextend here, but I definitely think a reason to get in and have a little fun with. Anything else, player prop, before we head off?
No, we cleared everything. The only last thing I'd say is keep your unit size reasonable here. This is a fun thing. You don't want to be like all angry because somebody sold you. Like, just make it fun. Put a little bit. If you're making a higher play, put a little less on it. You know, if you like one of the favorites, maybe put a little more on it. But do it reasonably so you can still enjoy the competition and don't just have to be so, upset that you didn't hit,
Definitely. All right. So player prop, thank you so much for coming on here for the Home Run Derby event, Major League Baseball 2025, July 14th. Down in Atlanta. We should have a fun time here with the eight contestants going off here. Should be a lot of fun. Hopefully we're going to see a ton of home runs and a little bit of drama as well. To make this a fun event. Also for you guys, player prop prodigy on TikTok as well. Make sure you give him a follow. Is where sports bets for free here on TikTok and YouTube, primarily there. But make sure you give him a follow. If you guys have any questions or want to know his handle again, make sure you reach out in the comment section. I'll be more than happy to answer those as well. I do appreciate everybody coming on, or everybody that's supporting the show. We do have a couple additional things if you're interested. If you want help with player props every day, baseball, basketball, football, we've got all of those available. We do use propsedge.io quite a bit. It is a paid service. It is well worth it. I will have a link to that in the comment section. It's also on the channel pages as well if you want to check that out. Also, private Discord channel available where you will see player prop put his plays in there as well. Plus, you're going to see all of mine. You're going to get those early before I put those out for general public use to get ahead of the line moves, juice moves, all that kind of fun stuff there. Not only that, you're going to get bonus material we don't put out for the public, WNBA, Formula One, golf, just to name a few. And we're going to have out that we don't put out for public consumption that we do put on for the Discord. It's $50 per month. You will find the link on our WAP. It's a link on YouTube and TikTok. It's WHOP. Once you find that link, just go to that. It'll check you out. It'll notify me. I'll get you into the Discord as soon as I possibly can right after that to make it as easily and human possible. Over 200 members on there. Make it easy for yourself. Have some fun. Cry a little bit when you lose. Get happy about the wins, all that kind of fun stuff as well. We do appreciate everybody's support as always, and we look forward to seeing you on our next episode.
See you.